one bite, everybody knows the rules.
Did you know that over 5 billion pizzas are eaten worldwide each year? And a huge chunk of them come straight from the freezer. That's a whole lot of cheesy, saucy goodness. But have you ever wondered how frozen pizza stays so fresh, crispy, and delicious after months in the freezer? From perfectly kneaded dough to high-speed cheese sprinklers and ultra-cold blast freezers, making frozen pizza is a mix of science and art. Let's take a behind-the-scenes look at how your favorite frozen pizza is made. Like any great pizza, everything starts with the crust. However, making the perfect dough at an industrial level requires precision and consistency. At the factory, huge sacks of high-quality flour, water, yeast, and oil are measured and poured into industrial mixers. These machines work at high speeds to create a smooth, elastic dough. Unlike homemade pizza dough, which can be inconsistent, factories ensure that every batch is perfectly mixed using automated sensors. These sensors adjust for temperature and humidity. Once the dough is mixed, it is rolled out and divided into individual portions, depending on whether the final product will be a thin crust, thick crust, or deep dish pizza. These are then cut. You've probably noticed that frozen pizza crust is always the same size. That's because the dough is shaped with laser precision. So, what's a pizza without a sauce? Factories don't use regular tomato sauce. They use specially formulated blends designed to maintain their texture and flavor even after freezing and baking. The process begins with ripe tomatoes, which are cooked down into a thick base. Then a precise mix of herbs, garlic, salt, and sometimes even a touch of sugar is blended in. The goal is to create a sauce that has the perfect balance of sweetness and acidity, while remaining smooth and spreadable. Ever noticed how frozen pizza sauce is never too watery? That's because it's thickened to prevent soggy crusts. Automated sprayers apply an even layer to every pizza, so you never get a dry bite. And here comes the cheesy part that makes pizza truly irresistible. It is no longer a mystery why frozen pizza cheese melts perfectly. It's all about the blend. Factories usually use mozzarella for that cheesy stretch, cheddar for a little sharpness, and provolone for that creamy, melt-in-your-mouth texture. The result is a pizza that pulls apart in the best way possible. Now imagine these huge blocks of cheese arriving at the factory. Super-fast machines shred them into fine, melt-friendly strands. Then automated dispensers spread the cheese evenly over the sauce-covered crust. This guarantees that every single slice has just the right amount of cheesy goodness. Some frozen pizzas take it a step further with extra cheese. Certain pizzas are stuffed with cheese in the crust and even layered with more cheese on top. Did you know some frozen pizzas flash freeze the cheese before adding it to the crust? This keeps the cheese from clumping together and ensures it melts perfectly when you bake the pizza at home. We all know pizza is not much without its toppings. From pepperoni and sausage to fresh ingredients like mushrooms, onions, and bell peppers. Each topping is prepared before it reaches the pizza. Meats like pepperoni or sausage are pre-cooked to make sure they're safe to eat and full of flavor. Veggies are washed, chopped, and sometimes lightly blanched, a quick boil to keep them looking fresh and vibrant. Once the prep is done, automated dispensers carefully place the toppings. They can even spot check and correct any missing toppings in real time. So if a slice of pepperoni gets left behind, the machine fixes it. And here's a cool twist: customized pizzas. Some brands let you start with a basic cheese pizza and add your own toppings at home. That's a fun way to make it your own. If you're enjoying this video so far, then don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. You might be asking, if the pizza is frozen, is it ever baked? Great question. The answer is yes, but only partially. Factories bake the pizza just enough to set the crust and melt the cheese a little, but not all the way. This is called par baking, and it keeps the pizza from getting soggy when you bake it at home. Some brands even use stone baking, just like traditional pizza ovens. This helps create a crispy, golden crust that tastes fresh out of a pizzeria. Next comes the really cool part: blast freezing. When the pizza is partially baked and topped, it goes through an ultra-cold chamber where it's rapidly frozen to below -30 degrees Fahrenheit. This process ensures that the pizza stays fresh and doesn't get crystals or freezer burn, which could ruin the texture and flavor. Some brands go even further and use liquid nitrogen freezing. This method cools the pizza in seconds, ensuring everything stays fresh and crispy. Once it's frozen solid, the pizza is ready for the next step, which is packaging. Each pizza is first wrapped in protective plastic to stop freezer burn, then placed in a branded cardboard box. Some brands go the extra mile with vacuum-sealed packaging, which removes air and keeps the pizza fresh longer. Did you know that frozen pizzas can last up to 18 months in the freezer without losing quality? That's thanks to the careful packaging. Before the pizza leaves the factory, it undergoes strict quality control checks. Automated scanners inspect every pizza to make sure it has the perfect amount of sauce, cheese, and toppings. And just to be extra cautious, human testers do random taste tests to check texture, flavor, and overall quality. So the next time you toss a frozen pizza in the oven, remember that it's the result of a super detailed process. Frozen pizza has come a long way from a simple idea to a global industry worth billions of dollars. But how did it all start? The concept of freezing food to preserve it has existed for centuries, but frozen pizza as we know it today didn't appear until the 20th century. In the 1950s, as home freezers became more common, food manufacturers began experimenting with frozen meals. Pizza, already a beloved dish in America, was an obvious candidate. In 1957, the first commercially available frozen pizza was introduced by the Celentano brothers, making it easier for people to enjoy pizza at home without the hassle of making dough, sauce, and toppings from scratch. But there was a problem. The crust would often turn soggy after baking. The game changer came in the 1960s and 1970s, when companies like Totino's and Tombstone improved the freezing and baking process. They developed techniques such as par baking the crust before freezing, which helped maintain texture and flavor. Since then, frozen pizza has continued to evolve, with innovations like stuffed crust, gluten-free options, and gourmet toppings. The one pizza you can always find in the freezer aisle is the thin crust pizza. Thin crust pizza is the go-to option for those who love a crisp, light base. Unlike the doughy, thicker crusts, the thin crust is, as the name suggests, thin and crisp, providing a satisfying crunch with every bite. Thin crust pizzas often cook faster due to their lightness, making them a quick and easy option for a weeknight dinner. However, you can never deny the charm of thick crust frozen pizza. For those who like to indulge in a chewy, hearty crust, thick crust pizza is the perfect choice. It has a substantial base that is often softer and doughier compared to a thin crust. This type of pizza is commonly found with extra toppings, as the thick crust can hold more ingredients without losing its shape. Some variations even feature stuffed crusts, where the crust is filled with cheese, giving an added layer of gooey goodness. Gluten-free pizza is a growing trend for people with dietary restrictions or sensitivities to gluten. Instead of the traditional wheat-based crust, gluten-free pizzas are made with alternative flour, like rice flour, almond flour, or even with cauliflower. These crusts are often lighter than thick or traditional crusts, but still deliver the satisfying texture and taste of pizza. From its production to its types, frozen pizza seems incredible, right? The next time you pull a frozen pizza out of your freezer, remember the incredible journey it took to get there. From the careful mixing of dough to the precise layering of sauce, cheese, and toppings, every step is designed to deliver the best possible pizza experience. So whether you like classic pepperoni, a veggie-loaded supreme, or a deep dish feast, frozen pizza makes enjoying a delicious slice easier than ever. So, what's your favorite frozen pizza? Share with us in the comments. And if you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.